All right, people. So, as the thumbnail says, the truck's defected. So, what happened? So, wasn't going to make this video, but today's experience, I thought I would share the knowledge. It's not as a whinger, all right? This isn't about me carrying on about the RTA or the National Heavy Vehicle Association, whatever. Today's episode, today's experience from them, can't complain about. So to cut a long story short, so as you all know, I just did my desert trip. Well, before the desert, I got a letter from the RTA saying I had to bring the truck in for a compliance issue to do with the Club Rego. So some Karen, whatever you want to call them, they dobbed me into the RTA saying my truck doesn't meet the historic Regos because it's got a camper on the back. Now the camper's removable. You've all seen those videos. So anyway, so I had to rock up to the heavy vehicle inspection station of Botany. So if you all know Sydney, that's the main one. Now, bear in mind what I'm about to say is related to New South Wales. Every state is probably different. This is my dealings with them in New South Wales, all right? So you start with the Heavy Vehicle Association, National Heavy Vehicle Authority or something they're called. Anyway, so I rocked up. I thought I was just coming there for, you know, compliance to see that I passed Club Rego rules. But anyway, no, not the case. So they did a full inspection on the truck. So over the pits, on the vibration machine, on the brake machine, on everything that they would do to a truck, okay? Now, before we get into this, everybody there, so the heavy vehicle examiners and the RMS, everyone was amazing. So this is, as I said before, this isn't about me bitching. It's more trying to educate some people. Anyway, so they did a full test on the car, came back with 12 defects. And in saying that, I'm a dumb prick for a lot of them, so I have to own up to that. Some of the stuff I should have checked properly before I took it there. But anyway, so this is what's after their full inspection of the truck. I can't run I've got LED globes in here, can't run them unless they're height adjusting, so I've got to put normal globes back in there. So big deal for that. One Parker light didn't work. What else did we have? Turn signal up here wasn't working. Now, that's been an intermittent thing, and I should have remembered about it. The indicator thing on the dash, that doesn't work when the blinkers are on. That hasn't worked for months. Same thing. These sort of shit I should have checked before I went there, but it just slipped my mind. So anyway, out of the 12 defects, 6 or 7 of them are little things like that, a globe missing here or number plate light not working, whatever. So they're my stupidity. So after all the testing, the biggest thing they could come back with was the sway bar D bush had excessive play and my drag link has excessive movement. So not bad. 80s model truck. All I got to do is replace some sway bar bushes and a new drag link. They were suitably impressed by the condition of the truck. And I know you guys see me use it, but I do maintain it well as well. Like it even had, which you explain there, you know, they tested the brakes, they tested everything, and they were suitably impressed. As they said, there's not many trucks that'll lock up a front wheel on their brake meter, and this truck did it. So, you know, that side of it, they were stoked with. So anyway, so that falls the truck itself. That was the safety inspection on the truck. Now, this is where it gets interesting, and that I wanted to try and explain to you. So, next comes out the RMS. All right, so this is a heavy vehicle, same as all your mogs. So it is a heavy vehicle. Now it's on Club Rego as explained. Well, Club Rego or historic Rego falls under light vehicle modifications in New South Wales, not heavy vehicle. Right, understand that? So you got your truck on historic Rego, you have to comply with light vehicle modification rules. All right, so we spent an hour. They did the heavy vehicle inspection. He went through with it all. The 2 guys went through with me. And as I said again, amazing guys. So they explained everything, showed me how everything was being tested, what the minimum, the maximums were. And this truck was, you know, for argument's sake, braking efficiency left to right, you're allowed 30%. The truck was 12%. You know, braking efficiency overall is a number of 56, you're allowed 40. So you can see the truck was well above what it needed to be. So there was no safety issue, bar some stupid things like lights that I didn't do about. So anyway, so I digress. So the compliance people from the RMS, they had a crack at a look over the truck, and then they went off into a room. An hour or so later, they came back. So I ended up with another defect notice. So I had a defect notice from the heavy vehicle inspectors, and now I got a defect notice from the RMS. So I ended up with 2 defect notices. So the defect notice was related to the historic rego side of things. So what their defect is only 3 points. So the other one was 12, this was 3, okay? So the last one was I had to clean the engine number. They couldn't read it on the block. If you want to defect someone, well, there you go. Anyway, no big deal. Now, this, I'm going to leave the second point on their defect list to last because it got quite interesting. Anyway, so the first one was exhaust, intercooler, turbo, passenger seat. That was about the crux of it. I think they mentioned the winch plates, but it didn't get put on the report. They all have to be engineered and certified to be on Club Rego. All right, so that was, this is where it gets tricky. So the Karen that dobbed me into the RTA complained about the camper on the back. So the heavy vehicle mob didn't care about the camper. The RMS couldn't care about the camper because it was removable, and I showed him how I remove it. So that wasn't an issue. So in the overall scheme of things, what they were pulling me in for, there wasn't an issue, but they got to do their job because I'm there. So as I said, all the modifications to the truck have to be engineered and certified to be on historic rego. So here's where it gets tricky. So this defect paper, if I took the car off Club Rego, put it on full rego, all this just disappears. Don't have to do a thing about it. So don't have to get turbo, intercooler, exhaust, seat, all that stuff. They don't have to be engineered and complied to be on full rego. All right. Now the only ifs and buts that we seem to have, or that they both discussed, and this is going to be a hot topic for all of you, is these big bad boys. All right. So the heavy vehicle inspector, he was a little bit iffy about them. So he did some research, and he couldn't come back with a definitive answer, yes or no. All right. But then, don't know if you guys can read that, but this is a part of on the RMS side apparently. So they printed it out for me to show me what the thing is. So it just tells you what you got to go through and what's allowed and not allowed if you're registering an ex-military vehicle. All right, so now we're going to come to this bit. So here it says protrusions. All right, now I'll read this bit out for you. Attachments fitted to the vehicle that obstruct the driver's vision or that would increase the likelihood of injury to a person, e.g. bonnet-mounted equipment such as tools and jacks, the parentis and that all have the shit sitting on the bonnet, all right? Such as tools and jacks, and additional external lifting and tie-down points. So these are a lifting point. So in theory, you got to take them off, all right? Now, this is where it gets tricky. Read the first part of the thing. Vehicle standards information, light vehicle modifications. Okay, so you put it on Club Rego, you can't run these. All right, you put it on full rego, it is up to the examiner's discretion whether he will pass them or not. All right, so that's a very hot topic because I know these have been brought up in a million conversations. I've copped a fair bit of abuse over running them too, by the way. But so that is the rules. So I spent the best part of 4 hours at the at the inspection station today going through this. Now, the dealings with the people, can't complain with. Am I pissed off? Not at all. You all know that I was going to put it on full rego anyway, because we've been mucking around number plates and all kinds of stuff. So the whole, but it was a good learning experience, and I wanted to share. So I'm not bitching about the RMS. I'm not bitching about the National Heavy Vehicle Association. They were unreal. All of them were unreal. So, you know, I don't want to be taken out of context to say I'm whinging about them, because I'm not. Was I pissed off I had to go there? You know what? I knew it was coming at some point, because there's a lot of jealous people out there that just going to complain about anything they can. And someone has done it, but the irony of it all, what they actually complained about, neither party had an issue with. So have they fucked me, excuse me, have they stuffed me in the long run? I don't think they have, because I was going to put on full rego anyway. And now I have a better understanding of the rules, and hopefully explain them a little bit better, that you guys all have the rules. So in a nutshell, all right, you want to be on historic rego, everything has to be certified and engineered that's not factory on the truck. Heavy vehicle rego, up to a point, obviously, you don't need to do that. So that's the purpose of this video, was more just to educate people on what I went through today, because I actually found it very interesting. And this was the first time they've ever had to well, here in Sydney, where they've had to sort out a complaint about a heavy vehicle being on historic rego. It was the first time that these two inspectors have actually inspected a Unimog, and it's the first time the compliancing people have had to inspect a Unimog. So they were intrigued, and they loved it. At the end of the day, they loved it. The truck actually passed with flying colours mechanically. For something that's 83 years of age, you guys have seen what I put it through, and I do look after it. Despite what it looks like you don't see a lot of the maintenance that I do look after it. So after whatever, 20-something years, 23 years, no, more than that, 40-something years, 83, yeah, 40-something years, whatever. To only have those 12 defects, and realistically, 7 of them were my fault, that I should have pulled my finger out of my ass and looked at the truck better before I took it out there. Anyway, hope that clarifies some people's ideas or queries as to what you can and can't do. Anyway, so you'll now see it. It'll have full rego on it soon. And I know I put up a post about what number plate I was going to get, and I have decided, but you can all wait till it's registered. See you then.